feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no wave.
Why did this promoter try to embarrass Bobby Shmurda like this? Now, guys, if you haven't seen Bobby Shmurda, who we've known, and I'll give you the story of him. It was super hot, one of the promising talents before the Pop Smoke wave. This was after 6ix9ine. One of the prominent talents in New York City. Was Bobby Shmurda before 6ix9ine or after 6ix9ine? I think he might have been, was he before? He might have been before. Yeah, it was before, because he came out in like 2014, right? He came out in like 2014. And then, so he was before 6ix9ine, and he represented kind of the new youth, right? The new youth when it came to New York music, because New York music used to be like the AOB son, like, you know what I mean? Shout out to Prodigy, rest in peace. But that was like, yo, you got to rap like backpack rapper, you know what I mean? The youth made their stands by saying, nah, we want to get on some drill shit. And Bobby Shmurda's wave kind of was really inspired by some of what Chicago had going on. I think people could acknowledge that. Nevertheless, the infamous RICO came down, the GS9 RICO. They took all these guys off the street, and Bobby Shmurda took about 7 years in prison, which initially was offered 5, but he took 2 more, reportedly to make sure the rest of his guys got out at the same time. Him and Rowdy was able to get out around the same time, 7 years, and that's how the story was. He got out, and I've told you the real story that really happened. Bobby Shmurda then got he was stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Epic, who wouldn't pay his bail when he first got in, they wouldn't even vouch him. You know, Atlantic, and even Capital, they vouched the shit out of YoungBoy. This is how you know you're important. Anytime YoungBoy getting some shit, they're like, yo, we'll put up the whole label, get him out. That's why YoungBoy don't really go to jail. You know what I mean? YoungBoy go to jail, and as soon as the label just shows up and be like, we'll give you everything, get him out. Bobby and them went to jail. They said, Sony, I want to put something up. They're like, Bobby who? Bobby Brown? They weren't showing up for Bobby, okay? Now, Bobby's sat in jail for a long time, and while he was in jail, typical Rock Nation, shout out to Jay-Z, my favorite snake, Jay-Z and Rock Nation tried to steal him from Epic because Epic didn't bail him out. He didn't like Epic. Epic wasn't supporting his mama and everything while he was locked up. Rock Nation comes in and says, yo, Bobby, you about to get out, sign with us. We're going to get you out of the contract there. And essentially, that's kind of what happened. Epic actually gave him a bag when he got out, but he was trying to leave. Epic was like, oh, word? That's what you're trying to do? You're trying to dip on us after we had you dancing on the table, motherfucker? Because everybody remembers the infamous Bobby Shmurda dancing on the table. We don't got a thumbnail for Akademiks? Bobby Shmurda dancing on table, right? This was epic, right? And I ain't gonna lie. This was kind of crazy. Him sliding across the table was bananas. This was bananas right there. That was the moment I was like, yo. They knew they were going to put up a dime for this nigga. None of these stiff-ass motherfuckers even nodding their head, bro. Even though this is a fire song. Tom Cruise was fire. Hey, the way he seamlessly jumped off the table, like, god damn. Now, one thing I always loved about Bobby, like, he was always like full-on energy. I remember some of the, I won't even bore you with trying to find some of the performances where they're going absolutely bonkers. But the point is this, man. Epic really didn't want to do anything, and most record labels don't want to do anything with you when you get a RICO charge, okay? They don't want to get their offices raided. They don't want to get subpoenaed. They don't want to be a part of this bullshit, right? Now, what ends up happening is Bobby gets out. Rock Nation comes in. Bobby collects a bag from Epic. Epic realizes that, oh, he's trying to skedaddle because he's being managed by Rock Nation. Rock Nation fucks up that deal. Bobby gets left, a man with no country, especially in the music industry. It's just not going to work. Epic stops believing in him because they realize he's trying to leave and trying to double dip, get 2 bags. Rock Nation and them, they said, all right, bet, we ain't got to fuck with you. Let Rock Nation do it. Rock Nation is not his label. They can't really put out his music. And then they're in no man's land saying, if we can't really do nothing with you, we're going to fall back too. Bobby ends up being independent. Bobby's career pretty much gets clipped. No disrespect to him. Now, in 2025, it appears that Bobby Shmurda was going to go on a tour. And there's a guy who put on a tour, and apparently the guy came online and made an announcement. He said, and by the way, let me go to his page. His name is Phil Stengel. By the way, I think this is really unprofessional. Phil Stengel. Okay? Now, I'm going to try to sort it out to see who did what first. But here's what he put out. He said, full transparency. The tour, because apparently he was scheduled for a tour that they said was canceled. Okay? This was the tour. The tour was going to be here. Right? And let me just look at any of these dates that I could, identify or even understand. Buffalo, Electric City. I want to see anything for like New York that I could see that I know the venue. Okay, Los Angeles, Echoplex. Let's just Google that, right? Los Angeles Echoplex capacity. Okay, 780 people. Okay? It's like this concert hall. So I'm guessing they're probably trying to get him to do like 400 to like 800 venues, which is, not that big, but not that bad either, okay? The tour was canceled, and in the cancellation of the tour, it was put out that here, full transparency, the tour was canceled due to an average of 10 tickets sold per show. Not a lack of promotion, because and let me just read. We ran ads, we have receipts. This wasn't about effort, it was about demand. Sometimes artists lash out publicly, that's emotion, we deal in data. We wish Bobby Shmurda the best. So it looked like Bobby may have started this first by saying, and we'll get to what he said, okay? Actually, let's get to what he said first. Sorry, where are we at with it? Bang, 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 bang. Let's go. Sorry, chat. So this is what Bobby had said. He said, hey, to all my fans, I apologize for the tour being canceled. I take full responsibilities. I have to go through lawsuits with these guys. Phil Stengel works at Halo Touring that I knew better to do business with, and let this be a life lesson to all business owners and affiliates. Don't leave nothing in no one's hands, no matter how much you got to work. Nobody's going to treat your work like it's you, except if you got a top pause down expert. But that happens once in a blue moon, because you have money doesn't make you a boss anyways. I apologize against all my fans. I might have to go through some lawsuits and lawyer fee money, aka the industry most wanted, ain't nothing new I've been fighting. Okay? Now, that's when the promoter jumped in and basically said, wait. He said, well, the tickets just didn't sell. Then he put out this. He says, let's be clear. Tour was canceled because the average ticket sales across the markets were 10 per city. That's not viable under any circumstances, no matter what the artist's budget is. Bobby Shmurda chose to publicly vent rather than acknowledge the performance metrics. His frustration is understood, but the numbers don't lie. The problem wasn't promotion, it was demand. This industry isn't about emotion, it's about execution. If 10 people are buying tickets, there's no show, period, okay? The post was a distraction. The facts are facts, okay? To further kind of flush this out, Bobby kind of responded with a few other messages, responding back. He says, and that's why I don't fuck with nobody, because peace is better than jail. And I done shot like 4 people that I thought was friends. What the hell? Before, well, probably not anymore. What the hell? Okay. And he said, y'all all stop writing me about not letting people get me back in jail. That's why you guys don't see me around. You don't see them around me. 2 + 2 is 4. Who's he talking about? He's not talking about Rowdy, is it? Every time chilling around niggas or people who want to be down, aka dick riders for niggas, I got shot. Or I got shot something. Is this bullets? Like, what the fuck is this? Shots? Like, what is this emoji? Something, that's why I don't be whatever. Okay, cool. Then Bobby also put up this. He says, we need to run the ads off Instagram as well. When they log in, you have to tell them it's 2 separate pages. One is for Facebook and one is for Instagram ads. And Phil Stengel says, hey, bitch, let me know if you need the, what? Let me know if you need the book mailing address. I want to finish my topic. All right. So it appears that this guy, he's getting at Bobby now, because I guess Bobby said he's going to sue him. He said, hey, bitch, let me know if you need the book or if you need the whatever mailing address to sue me. And he says, at any time we can run a fucking fade. Oh, shit. Yo, even the promoter's a gangster. He says, anytime we could run the fucking fade. Ain't no bitch here. You ain't gonna talk to me like you have. Oh, shit. Why you talking to Bobby like that? Yo, he told that nigga he could run the fade. Yo, I'm gonna keep it a beat with you. Y'all rappers haven't been scary since King Von died, bro. Like, these days, everybody calling out a rapper for a fade. Like, yo, it was a time niggas used to be scared of rappers. These days, they're like, man, let me just ask this nigga for a fade. Then Bobby responded with this.
You fuck around and get your cat peeled.
Okay. I guess he was like probably quoting Tupac, because I don't think Bobby has been really pushing violence just because he don't want to go back to jail. I don't think it's him scared. I think he just went through a lot. Now, here's my thing about this whole thing. Phil Stengel, I'm actually on Bobby's side with this, right? I'm on Bobby's side with this. I know some of y'all gonna make the joke, be like, nah, Ack, it's because you went to Roots Picnic, there was only 8 people, bro. No. The reality of it is this. When a touring company comes to you to do a tour, right? Or whatever these booking agencies come to you and present a tour idea, it's because they should have done the research. The reality of this is, like, Phil Stengel, if he's like a big deal in the promoter circle, it's no way you should have expected Bobby Shmurda to sell out a concert or a tour with venues over 500 if he didn't have a record that's charting or hasn't had a viral hit in a while. He has catalog, but the time has came and passed. The reality of it is Bobby Shmurda could do nightclub appearances, nightclub hostings, right? Where people are going to show up to the venue with or without him being billed as the artist. He's the icing on top. You're going to get 300 people up in the club already, and then you put Bobby's name on the flyer. You probably get 400 because now people feel like for the $30 they pay to get in, or they're going to go get a section, not only they going to turn up with their homies and their other chicks or whatever, they get to watch Bobby Shmurda perform and shmoney dance and do all that shit, you know what I mean, do the hoochie doochie dance or whatever for an extra $10 or whatever the case is. That's what you're supposed to do. Bobby could go on tour. You just don't put Bobby on a stage. And I know he's saying, yes, the problem is demand, but if you're a good promoter, you shouldn't, it's no way you should even announce a tour if you think someone couldn't fill it by 10%. That's your problem, right? I think it was unprofessional of Phil Stengel to put it out there, all this transparency, to now make Bobby look way less turned down. The music industry is a lot of smoke and mirrors, chat. And I know some of y'all, like, it's very easy to clown a lot of these people. The majority of artists can't sell hard tickets. Like, look at JT. And I know sometimes we're making some jokes about her, but she was doing the right thing. They were booking her at motherfucking airplane bathrooms, bodegas. They were booking her at motherfucking Olive Gardens. She was just jumping up on the table and performing. Only like 200 people at some of these venues, but she was starting to build back what they lost after the City Girls shit went left. I respect it. And whoever set up that tour was amazing for her. Every spot was sold out. You know why? Because whoever that set up that tour knew her audience, knew how to promote it, knew how to package it. And here's the thing. It's better you are in a venue that only holds 100 and it looks kind of packed, then you're in a venue that holds 800 and only 10 people there. You get what I'm saying? What they should have done with Bobby, you put Bobby on a dope-ass club tour. You hit up every poppin' club in every poppin' city. You say, yo, Bobby Shmurda is coming to town. He'll do a performance. Give him your best night that you know people are going to be there. They're going to say how much money. I'm gonna give you prices too. Bobby, at this point, you're gonna give him, like, you're not gonna give him too much. Hold on. Yeah, you're not gonna give him too much money, but I could see Bobby getting a 10-piece. You give him $10,000. You tell him you need like 5 songs and you need him to hang out and kind of like even host a bit. That might be asking for a lot because Bobby probably came from getting a lot of money back in the day, but it works. Or else, this is how you do it. And this is where I think Bobby needs a proper agency, and also comes down to management and also sometimes your label. A lot of these guys, like, I could tell you honestly, yo, you look on, let's look on Rolling Loud 2020, Los Angeles. Some people do we can't sell hard tickets by ourselves, but we want to look lit until we start grinding up our own tour. We're just going to pop out on a Rolling Loud. Who knows if the people are there to see Cardi, Destroy Lonely, Ken Carson, Quavo, YG, Sexy Red. If you're somebody like, I don't know who this person is. I'm not picking on him. I just don't know who he is. His name is Yo Train, right? That's one person, right? Okay, I'm pretty sure he can't sell 400 tickets. But who cares? When he's at Rolling Loud and he's getting his cameraman to video him and video the crowd a certain way, it's going to look like the nigga have like 2,000 people out there watching him. So again, I'm not going to blame Bobby because I think if Bobby's on a Rolling Loud lineup, he could have a lit 15-minute performance. Lit. He got some hits. The problem is the promoter who were probably being money hungry and probably promised Bobby money, and maybe Bobby was asking for too much because after you ask for too much money, they can't send you to a club. They send you to a club, that $10,000, the booking agent is going to take 20% or whatever, 15%. They don't want to book a tour where they're getting 1,500 every stop. They want to book a tour where you're getting 30 bands and they're getting like, you know what I mean, 5,000 every stop. You know what I mean? So they want to put you in bigger venue, but they should be smarter. And the mere fact that, okay, the tour didn't work out, you know how many tours that don't work out and people cancel because there's lack of ticket sales? But you never see the promoter go online and throw the artist under the bus and be, again, I love transparency because I'm going to figure it out. But you have now crippled Bobby Shmurda's earning potential. Like nobody's going to, like there's no promoter that's going to book Bobby right now. If you see this, you've just like fucked him over. And if I'm someone, and again, you might be like, whoa, you're just telling the truth. If I'm another artist that's just not a big name and I need one of y'all booking agencies or companies to work with, why would I get with this Phil Stengel guy? Because he's going to like, if shit don't work out, I get it. Like, yo, if you're a booking agent, a manager, these other people, you're supposed to take the L. Y'all aren't the star. You take the L. 6ix9ine, I remember when he was accusing one of his booking agencies of robbing him. They had receipts that they supposedly did good business, but they realized publicly you got to take the L to some extent. That's the nature of the game. The artist has to be accountable. They're the face of this whole thing. They're going to pass the blame off, even if it's for them. Because no artist is ever going to come out and say, I'm just not hot no more. Right? They're going to be like, oh, no, these guys didn't do A, B, and C. A lot of times the fans are smart. They're like, nah, it's not that, bro. Niggas ain't checking for you. But the booking agent ain't supposed to do that. Because if I'm another artist, if I'm an artist like, I don't know, if I'm Molly Santana, no disrespect to her, I don't know, I'm guessing, is that a woman? Or let's say DC the Don. I know him. Why would I get with this booking agency when they might throw me under the bus and make me look super irrelevant? This is a whole thing. This is a PR nightmare for Bobby Shmurda in his career right now, where I'm telling you, the majority of bags Bobby's picking up, he's going and he's popping out at clubs. He goes to Miami. Vendome is going to give him $10,000. Okay? He pops up at Vendome. He performs real quick. They give him some couple bottles in a section. 2-3 hours. He's in and out. He got his 10 bands or 15 bands or whatever the case is. Rolling Loud might give him a 20 piece, right? He's not going to do concerts for himself. Again, until he's going to try to drop music. If something hits, the rate goes up. But he could easily keep getting 10 bands all around the place. 10, 15 bands. You get what I'm saying? So again, I understand why Bobby's a little bit upset too, but he probably needs a proper team. Now, I blame the booking agency, but Bobby, your team should have some market research on you, okay? They shouldn't just put you in these huge venues. By the way, they did this to Moneybagg Yo before. You know who this happened to as well? This happened to Gucci when he just got out of jail. Let me give you, this is realistic shit that happens with touring. Gucci gets out of jail, right? Gucci gets out of jail. And when Gucci gets out of jail, by the way, I think this happened to Boosie too. These touring companies come in and be like, yo, everybody wants to watch you. We could book you in these amphitheaters. They hold 12,000 or more. Yes, maybe the first Gucci show or the first Boosie show, the Welcome Back show, is all the way sold out. After like 2 months of touring and he's going to all these places and goes to smaller markets, you're not getting close to 12,000 people that wants to see this guy. You get what I'm saying? Now, by the way, I'm juxtaposing something else like Vybz Kartel, what he's doing right now. He was locked up for 13 years. He had the whole genre of dancehall on his back. He's selling out 20,000+ or not 15,000 plus all over the world. Barbados, he's going to UK. He did Brooklyn twice. He's crazy. But what happened with Gucci's thing is that, and Boosie, as their tour lingered on, the venue just became empty because the novelty was you aren't here. But after you've been home for 2 months and you're on this Welcome Back tour, niggas don't want to see it no more. Why did the artists agree to that? The artists agreed to that they could get the bag. Now it's on the promoters to make that, they going to sign the guarantee. All right, so I'm guaranteed this amount of money. It's on the promoter to fill those venues, or they're going to have to try to do something to cancel or reschedule those days. So, again, I'm not leaving Bobby's team completely blameless, but I think it first starts with the booking agency. You should not be booking a tour for someone who can't sell out 10% of the venue that you're booking for. That doesn't seem like you're in tune with the demand of the people. Part of you being a promoter, part of you being a booking agency is to know what people want. Like Sexy Red, you'd be like, okay, you wouldn't send Sexy Red to a place in Montana where it's just all white people and all they listen to is fucking country music. You got to pick and choose where. For example, whoever Boosie works with, they know Boosie. Boosie has a circuit. Y'all notice Boosie always on tour, or not really tour, he be just performing all the time, or he's popping up in these places. I don't see Boosie coming to New Jersey. I don't see Boosie coming to New York. That's not his circuit. There's like a circuit down there by Louisiana, and like you keep going, they go up to North Carolina. Like he just runs that circuit, runs it. He consistently runs it. Runs it. Boosie go there, he gonna do a club appearance, he gonna do a little, like a half show or whatever the case is. He gonna do 3 verses for some upcoming rappers, charge him like 10,000, 15,000 a piece. That's why Boosie's so goddamn rich. Then he gonna go home, and by the time he go home counting up all that cash, you know what I mean? He's motherfucking doing a Vlad interview on his couch, and he's getting another 20 bands or whatever the fuck Vlad is paying him. So Boosie is really smart, but Boosie understands his demographic. Bobby Shmurda should probably understand that, yo, check this out. Where's that song? And that's what I'm saying. You blame the booking agency first. I think they're unprofessional, but then you got to blame Bobby. When artists aren't hot, people, listen to me clear. It's the job of the booking, it's the job of the manager to keep the smoke in mirrors. You ever seen a non-hot artist post them, coming out on somebody else's, like, I don't know, say Rod Wave had which he don't really bring out people, but he has some sold out concert. He brings out somebody from the local city to perform, and a nigga posted, you know who used to do that? Rich the Kid. Rich the Kid didn't have that much momentum and buzz at that point, but then Migos got hot. Every time you would see Rich the Kid post them videos of him coming out when the Migos are bringing him out. He'd be like popping champagne, is going crazy. The crowd's going crazy. He posts out on the gram the next day. People like, damn, Rich the Kid's doing all that? No. But it's smoke and mirrors, people. It's smoke and mirrors. This is an industry. So I get, like, Bobby's team should have probably, like, been on top of that, right? Yo, and artists and their managers do that all the time. You know how many times an artist have seen, when an artist shows up to a venue, a lot of time they send their mans in there. Yo, let me see if it's hot, because they don't want to walk into a venue if the venue is empty. Somebody walk up in there and they'll be like, yeah, that shit is weak as fuck. Sometimes I've seen artists just drive away from the venue just because they know the venue ain't packed. And then sometimes the promoter be like, nah, I need the money back. Or sometimes they'll be like, yo, I'm going to just keep this amount and give you this amount because I did travel out here, but that shit look weak. It's going to make me, if they post this online, most of these guys make their money via touring, not via streams, not via anything else. They make their money via touring. Like, let's be honest. How do you think Bobby Shmurda make his money right now? Club hostings, shout outs, these whatever things. Like, yeah, probably some verses with some niggas. You know what I mean? Probably got some other plays, not trying to like downplay him. But yeah. Somebody said, act fit to blitz through these topics. Wait. Am I just like talking? I told you, coffee makes me talk a mile per minute. Yeah. I drank 2 of these bitches. 2 of them, right? So I'm not going to blame Bobby Shmurda. Matter of fact, you want me to try to call Bobby? Bobby just tagged me something. I can't tell if Bobby cool with me or not. But we Jamaicans. This man from 90s. All right, let me see. Maybe I can call Bobby and try to figure it out, okay? By the way, AK, whoever that is, man, thank you for the extra 100 subs. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to call Bobby. Let's see if Bobby will answer me. Well, actually, let me see what he posted first. Because he tagged me in something. Now, Bobby's been saying the industry been like blackballing him. I don't know if that's all the way necessarily true, but I think some of his content, the reality is sometimes artists are really, they're in their own head. Like, he really feels the industry was like, thought he was so dangerous they had to blackball him. No, Bobby Shmurda used to post damn near porn on his Instagram story. And what happens when you do that consistently, Instagram just shadow bans you. So I do think he's shadow banned, but I don't think he's shadow banned because the music industry don't want him to win. He got shadow banned, dropped from basically Epic. He has no support at Rock Nation, and without some type of corporate backing, Instagram don't give him the proper respect and proper promotion and light as an artist because there's no backing. All these labels work with Instagram to, he even says here, it's a shadow ban, right? Okay, it's a shadow ban, however, it's still a little good. Okay, let's see what he posted.
Nobody, so if you feel some type of way about me or you don't fuck with me, that's on you. Like, I don't give a fuck.
No. I ain't gonna lie, these type of poses is not gonna help either, though, Bobby. Bobby. Like, Bobby. Come on, bro. Now, Bobby, in trying to post to let people know, yo, don't believe the hype, he posted some videos kind of showing, oh, by the way, this was the rest of the message. It says, the fade, tempers flared and things were said from both sides. Call it even as men. Let's follow through what we started in this business. We have moments, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then it says, Phil, it's frustrating to go weeks of emails, calls, try to make sure tour is promoted correctly and have everyone act like spending money on marketing to find out there's not enough. They are not. It's tough to be lied to. People don't know about the tour, so we need to figure out how to change that. Now, two things could be true. I think people didn't know about the tour, but in reality, Bobby can't sell out 700 capacity venues all over the country, right? Could he do one show? Of course, right? But they had a bunch of dates on that tour. He says, I plan on pulling ad request receipts and prove the marketing that we've done behind it, right? Depend on how the ad is set up and depend on what you're going to see. Then he says, hey, Bobby, just want to apologize for the shit I said yesterday. I lost my cool about the whole thing. I just know it's stressful on you and all of us. He says, same here. Yeah, they haven't ran the ads, right? It says, we're already on the phone with the promoters figuring out this morning. Got off the phone with two of them. You were right about that. Most haven't. Most have not. Belt has been getting put to ass all morning. And it says, don't blame a clown for acting like a clown. Ask yourself why you keep going to the circus. Okay? Then, let's see. He posted this to kind of show. He says, yo, World Star, Akademiks, Shade Room, XXL, Say Cheese and No Jumper. Since y'all want to talk about something, repost this. Say, you too, Angela, you could call me. I think he got some fire songs. But here's the thing. Are these shows, again, the idea about touring is about hard ticket sales. Hard ticket sales wise, are these shows promoted as Bobby Shmurda, or you're coming to like Homecoming Fest and like they're bringing up a bunch of artists, right? And Bobby's one of them. And they're like, oh shit, we're seeing Bobby Shmurda. It matters. Okay. So this is, he says, I booked 5 more shows. Make sure y'all post them as well. Let's watch it. So, no disrespect, but you can tell these shows old. This is like when the iPhone 12 was out, man. Bro, we're on the 16 now again.
We need to get started.
Okay, Wire. Bobby Shmurda posted a Wire from a year ago. Somebody got to tell me it's 2025. The Wire amount was $93,000. Okay. Yeah, and this was Clout Festival. Let's look at Clout Festival. Clout Festival 2024. Was that in Poland? It looks like it was in Poland, huh? Okay, let's see. What was the last? Where is this thing at? I don't know. I'm guessing this is all for this year. Oh, okay. So it was for like last year. But it's overseas. Here's another thing too, because I remember when I told y'all Meek Mill not getting booked for that, and then Meek posted up like, yo, I got 500,000. Listen, if you go overseas, you're always going to get the bag because they never see you, and your clout is actually preserved over there as opposed to over here where they see you as regular. You know, most artists, they see you in the club every week anyway. Like, you're in the strip clubs for free. You're in the clubs for free. You're doing a lot of these things that you become very normalized to like the U.S. audience, and it makes it where, you know, Russ he had a really important point to make about how to build up a audience that would pay for tickets to see you, right? And he was basically saying, yo, you just can't keep doing these club appearances for free, or you can't do them for like 5-10K and then expect when you want to go on tour and sell hard tickets, because people are coming to clubs regardless, right? It might look good on the gram when you post it, but they're coming to the clubs regardless. If you want people to come to see you, you got to develop that audience. You got to work on it. So yeah, I do believe he got paid that, but again, are you gonna always get paid that? I don't know. Let's see what else he says. I guess this is the Phil Stengel guy. Okay. Then he says, all right, whatever. All right, bet.
Tell me if you see. We got a.
Okay. We've seen that already. Now, another thing with artists are not realizing, these songs, some of them are like damn near almost 10 years old. Some of these songs are really fucking old. You know what I mean? Again, one of the things that will humble artists, because again, you know, it's one thing if they're getting streaming money. If a lot of these guys are getting streaming money, they wouldn't give a fuck. Like, the story of NBA Youngboy. Youngboy supposedly turned down some wild amount of money. I think it was about like, how much money was it? He turned down a tour that was going to give him like 300, 400,000. And he said he'd rather just stay at home. I think he even said that. He said he didn't want to go on tour. And the reality is that he was dropping so much music that, and his record deals, like, he kept getting re-up from his label, that essentially he was caking off of that he was like, why would I have to leave my house? I could just keep, you know, doing this and staying in my house making music. NBA Youngboy turns down tour. Like, he actually said this. Hear what he says.
Yeah, I done found time for myself. Hey, every $15 million tour come my way getting turned down. I don't want to do no show. I don't want nothing but a bigger house. It gave me time to myself. My daughter know who I am. Bitch, I know who I am. Bitch, my girl love me. Bitch is gangsta over here. You hear me, XO? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think, yeah, by the way, Youngboy is finally going back on tour. One of the good things, and by the way, we are going to watch this in a bit. One of the good things about Youngboy is, like, because he hasn't toured, his touring is going to look bananas. His touring is going to look crazy. You know, he's going to do arenas everywhere. But he did, you know, at first he was like, yo, I don't want to go on tour. He says he'd rather stay at home. There's actually another clip. NBA Youngboy. So he doesn't want to tour. This was back in the day. Is it this? Oh, yeah, right here.
I ain't performing so long. I swear. Yeah. I think that was you asked me that yesterday. Am I ready to perform? I told that nigga fucking I was say. I really done made millions of dollars while being on house arrest. I know. Hey, so they done showed me that I can make millions of dollars by not going on stage and perform. Like, I feel like, man, what the fuck I gotta go on stage for and do that for? In front of all them people.
Okay. So, and again, that was him just getting like an exorbitant amount of money. And he was just like, why would I have to like travel around the country, leave my house? Like, you know, he has a lot of family and, you know, his situations or whatever. He just didn't see it, right? But now he's probably realizing you could do both, right? You could do both. But that was his thought at that time. Anyway, let me keep listening to this Bobby. We're about to get off this topic. So yeah, y'all stop following these blogs. All they promote is bullshit. If you listen to the donkey, you sound like a donkey. Then he's now naming, what is this? Bobby Shmurda kickoff on the 10th. What is this? It's a South Beach. What's the venue? Yeah, they're asking for balls. So this is a club. This is a club, right? Featured music by blah, 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 throwbacks in Latin to keep you dancing all night. Yeah, so I guess the club is called Boulevard, I'm guessing. Yeah. Thanks for showing people you guys are foolish, blah, blah, blah. Just like tell them all the time, keep pushing. So if he... So 100 sheep can't defeat a lion. Now, the humble part of this, which I hope Bobby takes, is that, Bobby, you got to grind, bro. You got to work. You got to grind. You got to work, bro. You got to grind. You got to work. It's never over until you quit. It's fine. There was a time you were getting a shit ton of views and support and people coming out for your shows, and they were really excited in you. But the thing with, entertainment, everything is fleeting. How hot you were 10 years ago, you're not today. You should take this as inspiration. Let me go make another hit. Let me go prove these motherfuckers are wrong. And again, you only lose when you quit, but don't be in denial. Don't be in denial, because men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? And maybe, for example, I'm going to lie, like, shit, and I'll be transparent. I get amazing numbers online, right? Like, I get wild amount of numbers online. I think, if we're just saying numbers for numbers, whether it's like hip hop streamers or just hip hop podcasters, like I'm going to be up there top 2, top 3 or whatever with anybody. But my audience is not an audience that really goes out to shows. I could not do shows. Like this show, I'm not making a fucking dime off of it. Like we're going to lose money most likely. But eventually trying to build a situation that later on we could do more shows a year, you got to try to do it, right? Because I could just be like, I'm not going to do a show, right? We make millions offline. Like, I'm not going to make millions off a show. But I think it's important. Also, I think it's for that crowd and what I aspire to do, shit, I'm going out. I'm trying to do some live shows. I want to do some comedy. These are the things that get me excited about what I'm doing. So I understand the grind, but I also understand that humbleness of you got to build it. That's it. You got to build it, right? Like a lot of the chat niggas here, a lot of times, even with merch, y'all started watching me 3 to 5 minute videos on YouTube, Warren Chirac, I don't know what, maybe music reviews, but you've never had to like pay $1. Like even when we got on Twitch, it took a while for us to get like 1,000 subs consistently. And then we started having a few thousand subs that we had. Then merch, like people weren't used to us selling anything. Now merch is getting a lot more consistent because people are like, oh, some dope design. Again, the point what I'm trying to say is like, I think Bobby is trying to, I know his feelings is hurt a little bit by this, but he needs to take some type of, all right, they're trying to knock you down, go make another hit, go get a little bit hotter, go get another team, and go show these motherfuckers. When they try to do it to me with the Roots Picnic thing, I could have just easily said, bro, I'm richer than all these niggas. I don't care who you say. When it comes to these little media motherfuckers, I could have just did that and just whatever. But I wanted to take it as a challenge. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me go try to do a show. We did a show. That was successful. All right, cool. Let me try to do another show. You got to take a little bit of humble pie and work harder to try to, if you care about it. And this is Bobby's livelihood. See, as opposed to like with me, I'm not making no money off shows. Bobby's making his livelihood off shows. So he should want to, not be delusional about this and want to work. He should try to find a hit. He should try to change up these situations rather than trying to deflect. But, I digress. Bobby, again, you only lose when you quit. But right now you're not up, and it's okay, right? That promoter should have never did that, should have never embarrassed you, but it is what it is. All right, we actually got